Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Here is your mathematics teacher, Miss Amara, and I welcome you all here in your mathematics class of grade 4. So, dear students, in our previous lesson, we had learned about the commutative property or the commutative law of multiplication of fractions. So, today we are going to learn about the associative property of multiplication of fractions. I hope you will enjoy this lesson also like your previous lesson. Yes, we can enjoy this lesson also. So, before starting, let's go through the objectives of our today's lesson. After this lesson, we shall be able to describe the associative property of multiplication. We shall be able to identify the use of parentheses in multiplication equations. We shall be able to create fact sets of multiplication problems using the associative property. So, dear students, let's start learning about that. Associative law of multiplication of fractions states that regrouping of more than two fractions does not change the product. Let us consider three fractions here: 3 upon 5, 7 upon 9 and 10 upon 21. So, my dear students, about the regrouping means that we can regroup the fractions in this way. On the left hand side, we have regrouped our two fractions 3 upon 5 and 7 upon 9. And the third fraction we are multiplying with this group. And on the right hand side, the first fraction, that is 3 upon 5, we are multiplying with the group of two fractions, that is 7 upon 9 and 10 upon 21. So, as you can see that first we have to solve these brackets, because as we had discussed in our previous classes that if we have the parentheses or the brackets in our mathematics question, then we have to solve them first. So, in the brackets we have two fractions 3 upon 5 and 7 upon 9 at the left hand side. And by the cross cancellation method, you can see that 3 and 9 can be divided by 3. So, 3 times 1 is 3 and 3 times 3 is 9. And on the right hand side, 7 upon 9 and 10 upon 21 are inside the brackets. So, we have to solve them first. 7 times 1 is 7 and 7 times 3 is 21. Then you can see that after cross cancellation we are getting 1 upon 5 multiplied by 7 upon 3. But still they are written in the brackets because we did not get a single fraction after solving. And on the right hand side, when we did the cross cancellation of both the fractions, we got as 1 upon 9 and 10 upon 3. As you can see that 1 multiplied by 7 is 7 and 5 multiplied by 3 is 15 and the other fraction is 10 upon 21. So, by the cross cancellation method, 7 times 1 is 7 and 7 times 3 is 21. And on the other side, 10 and 15, they both can be divided by 5. So 5 times 2 is 10 and 5 times 3 is 15. Same at the right hand side. We can cross cancel 3 and 27 and we can cross cancel 5 and 10. At the end we get 1 multiplied by 2 and 3 multiplied by 3. And on the right hand side 1 multiplied by 2 and 1 multiplied by 9. So after multiplication we get 2 upon 9 at the left hand side and 2 upon 9 at the right hand side. So this means that we have proved that the regrouping of more than 2 fractions will not change the product. It will not affect the answer. Dear students, let's try some more examples. As today we are learning about associative property of multiplication of fractions. So, it states that the regrouping of more than 2 fractions does not affect the answer. First, let's take the whole numbers like 0, 1, 2 and so on. So, if we have the numbers 2 multiplied by 3 and we have grouped them 2 and 3 and the third number is 4, and on the other side if we multiply 2 by the group of other 2 numbers that are 3 and 4. As you know, according to the rule, first we have to solve the brackets. So, in the associative property of the multiplication of fractions, we have regrouped them as this. So, 2 multiplied by 3 is 6, multiplied by 4, and on the other side also when you multiply you will get the same answer. Let's take the fractions 1 upon 2 multiplied by 1 upon 5 multiplied by 3 upon 2. So, here we are putting the brackets with the fractions 1 upon 5 and 3 upon 2. And 1 upon 2 we have written in the same way. So, let's see how we can solve. As you know that here we cannot cross cancel. So, the numerator will be multiplied by the numerator. 1 times 3 is 3 and denominator will be multiplied by the denominator. So, 5 times 2 is 10. The numerators are 1 and 3 and denominators were 5 and 2. Now, after solving the group of fractions, we have to solve the remaining 2 fractions. So, in the same way, numerator will be multiplied by the numerator and denominator will be multiplied by the denominator. Now, you can see on the other side, we are exchanging the place of the fractions. First we have solved that how we can multiply the first fraction with the group of second fraction. So now we have 1 upon 2 and 1 upon 5 and we are putting both of these in a group, and the third fraction we are writing as a simple way. So according to the rule, first we have to solve the fractions in the brackets. So 1 multiplied by 1 is 1 and 2 multiplied by 5 is 10. The second fraction we have to write as in the same way 3 upon 2. Again the numerator will be multiplied by the numerator. So 1 times 3 is 3 and denominator will be multiplied by the denominator. So 10 times 2 is 20. So dear students, you can see that here we have changed the places of the fractions and we got the same answer as 3 upon 20. So I hope you can understand that associative property states that the regrouping of the fractions does not affect the answer. Let's take one more example, and that is 1 upon 2 multiplied by 1 upon 5 multiplied by 3 upon 2. Is equals to 1 upon 2 multiplied by 1 upon 5. And here we are regrouping of these two fractions, and 3 upon 2 we are writing as it is. This is our right hand side, and where we put 1 upon 5 and 3 upon 2 in the group, that is our left hand side. And we proved in our previous slide that when we solve them, we get the same answer. In the same way, here you have 8 upon 10 multiplied by 10 upon 2 multiplied by 1 upon 7, and both these fractions are placed in a group. So, dear students, as you can see that if we regrouped 8 upon 10 and 10 upon 2, it will be easy for us to multiply because we can easily cross cancel both these fractions. So 10 upon 2 and 8 upon 10, we can place them in a group, and 1 upon 7 we can write alone. So according to the rule, first we shall solve 8 upon 10 and 10 upon 2, and the answer will be multiplied by 1 upon 7. So here you can see that 2 and 8 can be divided by the same number, and that same number is 2. Yes, they both can be cross cancelled. 2 times 1 is 2 and 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 3 is 6 and 2 times 4 is 8. So, after cancelling 8, we shall write 4 here because 2 times 4 is 8, and after cancelling 2, we have to write 1 because 2 times 1 is 2. And now if we look at the other fractions, ten and 10, they can be cross cancelled because they both are divisible by 10. Ten times 1 is 10 and 10 times 1 is 10. as you can see, how we can cross cancel. So after the cross cancellation, we are getting 4 in the numerator and 1 in the denominator, and in the second fraction 1 in the numerator and 1 in the denominator. This is equals to yes, dear students, numerator will be multiplied by the numerator. So 4 times 1 will be equals to yes, 4 times 1 will be equals to 4, and 1 times 1 will be equals to 1, and 1 by 7 we have to write as in the same way. So here it will be 4, in the denominator it will be 1, then multiply by 1 upon 7. So now we have to multiply these two fractions, and to multiply these two fractions again, 4 multiplied by 1 in the numerator and 1 multiplied by 7 in the denominator. 4 times 1 is 4 and 1 times 7 is 7. Yes, good students. So, dear students, it means that according to the associative property of the multiplication of fractions, we can exchange the places, or we can regroup the fractions to multiply them. So dear students, I hope you have enjoyed this. Now you have to do a lot of practice, and let's end our lesson with this beautiful saying: success is the sum of small efforts repeated day in and day out. All of you, my dear students, stay safe, stay home, take care. Allah Hafiz.